in your opinion, what is the most egregious male fashion faux pas? Something you see a dude out in public and you're like, clean it up, man.
You know what? I'm not sure I mean, I don't have a problem with a lot of stuff.
Okay.
I did see a kid today at church that came in with a short white sleeve shirt, button up, His tie was all like sideways and it was untucked on one side. He looked like he just didn't want to be there.
Sure.
So
he probably,
yeah,
that's a pretty good way to signify that you don't want to be there.
Yeah, and that might have been it. Let me think if there's other stuff that...
Here, I'll give you an example of what I think.
Okay.
Is I see a dude in this and I'm like, come on, what are we doing? I don't like blue jeans and flip-flops. I think that is the lamest. I don't know what it is about it. It's, if you're gonna do a pant, go closed-toe shoes. I think, I also don't like seeing dudes bare feet.
That's it.
In public.
Yeah.
I think that's whether you got good feet or not, dudes keep it covered. I think
that was your mom's thing too. She hated seeing men's feet. Yeah. Now, if you are going to the beach, then you're wearing flip flops.
No.
Right?
There definitely.
You're right.
Yeah,
you don't need to be wearing those sandals to go out to eat dinner. Nobody wants to see your hairy toes at dinner. You know. Now with women, it's completely, totally different because your mom had beautiful feet.
Sure.
And so it's was an addition for her look. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right.
Putting the flip flops on top of blue jeans, for some reason, it's one of these things is not like the other. You know what I mean?
Well, the other thing I think that might bother me too is if you're a grown man and you're wearing a suit, don't be wearing no white socks with your dress shoes.
Oh, yeah, looking like Michael Jackson?
Yeah, not just that, but like, do you not have a pair of black or brown socks?
Yeah, to match with the suit.
That you can slip on so you don't have this big bright white spot when you sit down,
Yep, you
that's
sit down, your pants go up a little bit, and all of a sudden everybody can see that you're wearing white socks
and
with your suit.
And I say that, and Jack does it.
He does it to mess with you, though, doesn't he?
I think that's part of it, but he also wears his pants a little short, so he shows some sock. And I thought the idea behind that was to show if you had cool socks.
Oh, okay.
To show a little sock, because I know it's kind of in style to have peg leg pants with some a little sock showing because it's part of your look, but not just plain white.
Sure.
The worst thing for him is he wears like Nike sports socks, not even a dress white. I guess if there is a dress white.
I don't know if there is a dress white sock.
Probably not a dress white sock.
Because if you're going to wear anything, and if you're going to wear anything that would warrant a white sock, you'd probably go no-show. I think about like linen suits and stuff like that. You're not going to wear white socks with that kind of thing.
Yeah. No, for sure not. Yeah. One of the things that now that you said that I remember happening when I was younger, the funny thing is I was at a funeral.
Okay.
With my mom.
Okay.
And I can't remember whose funeral it was. And everybody's wearing dark suits, so it's pretty standard dark suit. And a guy comes strolling in and he was looking sharp. And so I said, look how sharp, and I don't know what it was about his look that was different than anybody else's. I don't think he had a pocket square or a especially fancy tie or anything.
Yeah.
But
was he just in a dark suit?
Just in a dark suit. Maybe it had a pinstripe or something. But he looked like polished.
Cleaner than everybody, huh?
And I said, look at that. I told my mom, I said, look how sharp that guy looks in that suit. He looks great. That suit is awesome. And I remember saying that suit makes him look great. And she said, hey, check this out. And she pointed at another guy who was a big guy.
Yeah.
And I look over and he's got on the same suit, but he's a big guy. And she said, it's not the suit, it's the man.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, and it makes you, and a lot of times.
We're getting into our after school special early this time.
No, but I'm not, the point I think is you're going to make everything look, if you try to look nice, you're going to make everything, and you can pull off a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of. This is coming from two dudes that are entry level fashion dudes. We don't really know that much. I've never owned anything. I've never owned anything extravagant, but like looking good is. It seems like it's a lot of confidence. It's a confidence game.
That might be a big part of it too.
Yeah.
Well, being pressed and just. Standing tall. A lot of it, that's probably a lot of it right there.
Yeah.
Because I know that the twins were, I have this powder blue blazer that I wore to church today, as a matter of fact. But the first time I put it on, one of the twins says, "You got drip, Dad." You know, and it's not that it was a. It's just not too many people will wear it. But it's, if I were to see somebody else wearing it, then I'd definitely notice.
Yeah.
You know, but I think way too many. When it comes to men's fashion, I don't think there's anything off limits. Absolutely, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you're gonna take a risk, you better be the man to take the risk.
Sure.
More than anything else.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The other thing, and
I guess that's, and maybe that's what bothers me so much about flip flops with pants or with jeans, is that it seems like an out. It seems like an easy out. You know what I mean? It's like rather than completing the look at the toes, right, with a nice pair of shoes. Because I mean, how many pairs of shoes can you rock with a pair of jeans? You can rock sneakers, you can rock boots, you can rock dress shoes, whatever. So to throw in a pair of flip flops just seems like the easy out to me, and that's probably why it bothers me so much.
that's probably it.
And it feels like old money to me too.
Oh, it feels like old money.
I don't know why. It feels like a dude,
Like a guy who's got so much money he don't even care what he looks like.
I don't know. It's like it's a half step away from boat shoes to me. Blue jeans and flip flops, right?
I don't think old money would wear that though.
I know that. I don't know why I feel that way. It just
yeah.
feels that way.
That's interesting.
And plus, you know, I don't see that many dudes wearing flip flops and blue jeans anymore. That was like a early 2000s thing, back when dudes had visor haircuts and stuff. I feel like that was pretty popular. Puka shell necklaces.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you're talking about a specific guy we went to church with, aren't you?
I don't know. Am I?
So we went to. I remember the guy.
Okay.
We went to church with this guy, and he had gone on a church mission.
Sure. To Hawaii or something, right?
One of those South Pacific islands.
Yeah.
And that's what they all did there. So he comes back to Boise, Idaho, and he's sporting a suit.
No, I don't think he wasn't a suit coat guy.
Okay, maybe it was just
White shirt and tie.
So you know what I'm talking about. Then.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking
and
about.
And he had big old nasty, crusty Flintstone ugly feet too. That's the problem, right? Yeah. And you know you can't not see it once you see.
He was a front row sitter too, I think.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
everyone saw him.
He had his old feet just hanging all out. You know?
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell the inside secret here, but you know we recorded last week, you and I. And you went home and you said, "I don't think Mom would like us with our feet out."
Yeah. We got.
So we're wearing pants and we're wearing socks today, just in case our feet get shown, because that's a. Yeah, that's.
We don't want to. Yeah,
like. I'm trying to think.
I don't think we have exceptionally crusty toes, but we still don't need to be exposing everybody to anybody who might be watching.
That's
right?
true. That's true. And I think I have pretty good feet. I try to take care of them, but not. I still wouldn't let them flash.
Yeah, you don't got show feet.
No, I don't have show feet. I don't have George Costanza feet, I guess.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
Hands and feet.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got those kind of things. So, plus, you know.
Boy, that would have been a great follow-up to that episode. After he burns his hands on the iron, he starts to thinking, maybe I've got the feet of a model too. That would have been a great.
You know what? He probably did have the feet of a model, because he's not exercising and doing crazy stuff with his feet.
Could be. He doesn't have LeBron feet. Have you seen pictures of LeBron's feet?
I don't want to see a picture of LeBron. That's something you won't be able to unsee.
I think all of those like basketball players, they've got stinking
gnarled up toes.
They're all folded up. It looks like a foot version of Chunk from the Goonies. No, not Chunk. Chunk's the kid. What's the name of the guy?
I don't know who that is.
Okay,
I've never seen I don't think I've seen the Goonies.
We got to watch it. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's and I only ever saw that guy in his, Sunday attire, so I don't know if he was rocking. It's specifically for some reason the blue jeans and flip flops.
Yeah.
Because it seems so disjointed to me. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially because blue jeans seems like the classic, almost like cowboy type deal. It's like cowboy would never be wearing open-toed shoes with the blue jeans. Yeah.
That's like Don wearing shorts. It's just not happening, right? Dons don't wear shorts and cowboys don't wear flip-flops, I'm pretty sure. Can you imagine riding a horse with some flip-flops on?
Golly.
By the way, do you remember?
Dude, I also can't imagine toting a gun with open-toed shoes, man. If you've got a belt that has a gun attached to it, closed-toed shoes, man. I don't want to be seeing nobody with no holster and open-toed shoes.
That's true. Guy's not carrying a rifle with some flip-flops on.
No way.
It ain't
man.
happening.
Nope. Plus, could you imagine if an assailant is on the run and all you hear is as the guy's chasing him with his gun? Imagine if a cop wore open-toed shoes, man.
Just
stop in the name of the law.
Just slapping along as he's chasing somebody. Dude, that reminds me of, do you remember the Cheaters episode?
Oh, yeah.
Where the chick came up on the guy and he took off running?
For anybody who doesn't know, Cheaters is a low-level TV show.
Yeah.
Right? Where
somebody calls in, they think, I think my spouse or boyfriend is cheating.
Yeah.
So they have this private investigator follow them around, and the funniest part to me is when they're like telling the story as they show it. He's walking into her apartment. An hour passes. He comes out with a smile. You know, that kind of stuff. And you know it's gone bad, right?
Yeah.
But this one episode was a
and there's at the end of the episode there's always a segment called the confrontation.
Yes,
where the accuser is able to face the cheater.
Yeah, and they usually face them in front of the person they're cheating with too.
Yeah.
And sometimes the person
they get them when they're out at dinner or something.
They has no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they roll up in a van and the big camera crew gets out. Well, this one episode was a girl, she was a pretty good sized girl. And she had a little skinny boyfriend.
That was the nicest way you could ever say that.
She was a little skinny guy. He was a little skinny guy in the bar. You remember this?
The guy. Wait, the dude that she was cheating with was a little skinny dude.
No. The girl wasn't cheating. It was the guy.
Oh, okay.
So the girl rolls up in the van, and the little skinny guy, little wafy-looking little skinny guy's at the bar with this girl, and she comes in, and he sees her, and there's no confrontation.
He off.
Hightails it out of there, man. And then the chase is on, and you got the cameras bouncing, and you see she is running full speed, and the cameras, they can't keep up. But you see her without missing a beat. She reaches down, takes a flip-flop off in full stride, and then smacks him across the head while they're running.
And she doesn't break speed
she
even a little bit.
She doesn't break stride. No. It was beautiful. It was like a superhuman feat.
Yeah.
Feat.
Yeah.
But
you dummy.
Yeah, but it was one of the greatest. If I could ever, that's the episode you want to watch. I don't know how you look them up like that.
Yeah.
But if you have to
Cheaters, flip-flop, assailant.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to come up that way, but
yeah.
But yeah, they're all worth watching. But yeah, back to our original thing. Unless I'm going somewhere, I'm a t-shirt and shorts guy.
100%. Yeah. T-shirt, sweats.
Yeah, and usually basketball shorts but to go back to the foot thing, I mean, I'm kind of a shoe guy. And I think if you can have a great suit on, and if you wear the wrong shoes, you've messed it up. So I've got plenty of shoes for and I'm always looking for extra shoes to see, because I know you can ruin it. And that's something Shelly taught me, by the way. She also taught me you can't wear white after.
Tell that story real quick, because I know that's a story. That might be the first fight y'all got into when you were married.
It was the first big fight that Shelly and I got into.
And how did it go down?
So I had this. It was a beautiful double-breasted cream colored suit, and this was in the early 90s, and the suit I had big shoulder pads in it, Yeah. So it was a zoot suit, So it gave you this wide shoulders and a thin waist, and baggy pants that came down to a peg. It was a zoot suit basically. And so I come
Tom from Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
That's my only introduction to zoot suit.
What's the song he sings?
Is you is is you ain't my baby? He's in his zoot suit. His is like orange. He cut out of the curtains. It was like orange and green pinstripes. If I'm
not mistaken, he was pimping too, because he had a hat and a feather. Yeah. But I had the suit.
Tom from Tom and Jerry was always big pimping, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was big pimping. Which is sad that he got treated like that, because he was a pimp. Tom was a pimp.
If Jerry would have left him alone, he would have got all the girls, man. He had game.
Because if I'm not
mistaken,
game. There was a dog after him, and he would clown the dog too.
Yeah,
just like
to impress the girl cat.
Just like Jerry would clown him sometimes. Yep. Yeah, so I had this suit on, and it was like cream. It wasn't khaki.
Okay.
It was cream, so really light color. And she's getting ready for church, and I come strolling in, and she says, "You can't wear that." And I said, "The heck I can't. This is a beautiful suit,
Yeah.
And She said, no, it's after Labor Day. You can't wear a white after Labor Day. I said, it ain't white. This is cream. And she's like, no, light colors, right? And I'm telling you, I don't remember exactly what happened, but it turned into like a serious argument. And she teared up, and I, had to walk out so I didn't punch the wall. It was back,
Yeah.
But it was one of those arguments it was one of our very first arguments, and I can't remember. So we got married in June, so Labor Day, I don't know when that is, August maybe?
I always get them mixed up. One is in May and one is in August. Labor Day or Memorial Day.
Well, when it was...
I forget which one. I always forget which one is which.
It must be later in the year because you can't wear white after
sure.
it, right? Because winter's coming. So
Is that the rule that you can't...
I don't think that rule applies anymore, but back then, But she knew the rules.
But why was that the rule?
You can't wear white after Labor Day? Because you're coming into the winter and you start wearing darker stuff, I guess.
Okay.
See, I mean, I had heard that.
Afraid you're gonna camouflage into the snow with the white.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like this fashion faux pas or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I never thought I'd say faux pas on one of these, but
yeah,
but she called me out on it, and I wasn't happy, and I ended up changing to make her happy. But it was
probably the move.
But it was one of our first fights, and I remember we were both pretty aggravated at the whole thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Here's another funny anecdote to that, because with your mom, I knew there was precedents were being set early on, because I had talked to my dad quite a bit about marriage, and my older brothers who gave me horrible advice because they were, I would ask them for advice so I'd not do it, basically.
Sure, yeah.
But my dad had told me, early on in your marriage, you're going to set these precedents.
I'm going to take a wild guess, too, and say your brothers gave you unsolicited advice, too.
Yeah.
You never asked for it.
Right.
You never asked for it, but they gave it to you anyway.
Yeah, and I think that's common, especially if you haven't been married for too long and neither of them had either.
Sure,
maybe in the first 5 or 6 years or so of their marriages. So...
but you go to your dad and ask him, hey, give me the skinny.
Right, because my dad was married for 20 plus years to my mom. And so... he said you're gonna be setting precedences, and you want to serve your wife. You want to love her and serve her, but you also want to realize that you're setting a standard, and there's going to be moments where you have to, preside in your home, and so you're gonna have to balance that a little bit, And so I remember I had already drawn a line in the sand for basketball.
Like Tuesday nights, I'm going to play.
When we first started dating, I went and played Tuesday nights. And after we got married, the first time a Tuesday night came up after we got married.
Yeah, like married on a Saturday, the next Tuesday, you're like, okay.
The next Tuesday. Yeah, well, we went on a honeymoon. So we were gone for a while. But yeah, the next Tuesday that came up, and I would go play later at night, 9 o'clock or so, so that it wasn't like I was cutting into the day. And she said, are you going to go play basketball? And I said, yeah, I'm going to go play. And she said, well, wouldn't you rather stay with me? And I was thinking, boy, that's a loaded question.
It's so loaded. Yeah.
She's my new wife and I love her. And, maybe right now I'd rather stay with her. But I was thinking, this is a precedent-setting moment, And I said, well, I played basketball before we got married, so I'm gonna keep playing. It's what I do on Tuesday nights. And she cried.
Oh, no.
And I left. And the next Tuesday came around, and she pulled it again. And for probably, and she kept doing a little bit, but not as much. But it kind of got to a point where, later on down the road, she realized how much I needed that 2 hours of just basketball.
Sure.
It wasn't like I was out with my buddies at a bar or anything like that.
Yeah, it was about the exercise and the competition.
Yeah.
It's kind of a reset on the week, too.
It really is, yeah. And I think after a while, especially after we started having new kids, she would say, you need to go play basketball.
Yeah, go
She was
get
wanting
reset.
to kick me out. Yeah. But I remember when she cried the first time, I was like, I was torn apart, and I went and played basketball, and I was shook, man. But I thought, I had listened to my dad, and I'm like, and there were other times that I did that for specific reasons. Mm-hmm. But I remember that one being painfully, right? Because I would have rather stayed with her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I also knew if I did it now, I might never play basketball again.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And I like to play basketball, or maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it was interesting how that whole thing worked.
That is interesting.
Yeah. Are there are there any other things that bug you? I think for me, a lot of it is, you know what it is I think bothers me more than anything else is, and you mentioned this a while back, is you went to a wedding reception with some brother-in-laws or some other people, and they were all wearing suits, but they had like mops of hair. And it just, there's something about being in a suit.
Yeah.
Unless you got it really well taken care of.
Here's an insight into Alex vanity.
Okay.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
It was also when I had my hair grown out.
Yeah.
Right? And I didn't dislike any of their hair.
Yeah.
I didn't think I looked handsomer than them. So standing next to
and you knew you were handsomer than them. Right?
Like I said, this is anybody who's watching this, right?
Yeah.
You're getting an inside scoop into how vain I actually am.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I had longer hair. I'd been growing it out for a minute. And when I stood next to all these other dudes that also had grown their hair out, I wasn't sure that I was the handsomest.
You blended in too much.
And I wanted to be the handsomest. Right? My
yeah.
suit was better looking than theirs, right? I'm not an Adonis, but I'm also, I take care of my body. I try to look a certain way, right?
Sure,
I try to build muscle and be lean. I do my best, right?
Right.
I'm far from, like I said, perfect. But when I stood next to those dudes, I was like, I'm not sure that a passerby would go, that's the guy.
That's the most handsome guy in the group.
Yeah. And I wanted to be the handsomest guy there, right?
Yeah.
And call me a sinner, call me vain. I'm pretty aware of how I felt. And that weekend, actually, not 2 hours later, after the reception, I went, "Hey, Carrie, I think it's time for me to cut my hair," to my wife. And she said, "Are you sure? You've been growing it out for a long time. You seem to really like it." And I did,
Yeah.
And I was like, "No," and I told her what I was thinking.
Yeah, I got to be more handsome than those.
And I was like, I need to. I don't feel like myself anymore. I need to be a cut above what I am currently.
And maybe that's the point. Maybe that's a good thing to think about is because that's why when I go to church, I don't look like everybody else.
And that's also, in a caveat, right? Not to say dudes with long hair don't look good or can't look good.
Right.
There are plenty of, usually it's the dudes who look really good when they have short hair, can pull it off when they have long,
Yeah.
The Brad Pitts and the Thors and those kinds of guys, right?
Right.
But which I am not.
We're not that. Yeah.
We're not that, right?
But we do pay attention to what we wear because we don't want to be, Shelley used to say to me, "I don't want you to look like everybody. Let your hair grow longer on top. Keep it short on the sides, but don't cut your hair into a burr because you're going to look like every other old dude in church." You know?
And again,
I want you to look a little different, and I wanted to.
This might be a bit of a testament to our vanity and
I think it is.
We have a bit of a complex. I want to be the main character in my own story.
Yeah.
This is not to say that everybody else can't be the main character of their own story, but if we're opening the chapter on me, it's me. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think you get that from me. That's straight up me. Yeah.
And that makes me want to dress a little bit better, cut my hair and look clean, go to the gym, get fit.
Right.
That's all in pursuit of this,
Right.
If they're going to make a movie about anybody, it might as well be me,
And we realize, just so everybody knows.
we realize how arrogant and vain.
No, we also realize that we're not the 1%, right? We realize that.
Yeah.
So we pay attention, or we try to pay attention to, I'll even think about, what am I wearing to go watch Jack play football at the high school football stadium? I don't want to look like every other old man out there. You know what I'm saying? I want them to scan the crowd and go, that old man looks a little different.
Sure.
Maybe not even better.
But different.
Yeah, but he's not just blending in like every other idiot out there. And by the way, when I say idiot, I mean everybody.
You mean as a blanket term?
Yeah, as a blanket term. Yeah.
Every other schmo.
Every other schmo. Yeah. I want them to say, that guy's just a little different, right? And so I'll attempt, and do I succeed? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I'm aware. I know, and we both know this about ourselves, that we have a little bit of that vanity that makes us do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we're not above being teasing each other about it, and we could talk.
Yeah.
We have some conversations about this, where we talk about how we're doing things because we want to be a part of certain things because of that little vanity part of us.
Yeah.
It might be why we're doing this podcast. We like to think we're special.
This whole podcast is us going, what if we were important enough to talk about something?
Could somebody think we're special?
Yeah.
I mean, besides us?
Yeah.
maybe not, right?
Yeah.
So,
no, that did happen. That weekend I got my hair cut. No, I guess the wedding would have been that weekend. It would have been during the next week I went and got a haircut. I went back down to something a little bit more clean cut,
But the pictures of that event
live on forever. Yep.
Which goes back to you mentioning you should have worn a purple suit at your own wedding.
I'm still a little bit salty that you guys convinced me not to do that.
You know what? You won't be, though, in 10 years or 15 years. You'll look back and go, that was the suit.
No, the suit that so just as a little bit of context, right? I got married in 2020 at the beginning before things went weird.
Right.
In January 2020, and our wedding colors were navy and this like lavender lilac color. Right. Great combo. And when it started come time looking for wedding suits, I was thinking I should go with that lilac lavender color, right? A lighter, prettier, color.
Right.
Super unique, right? Because that's what we've all been talking about. I just want to look different, right?
Yeah, but your mom also was really wanted to make. I don't think she said it out loud.
Yeah. I'll tell you what she did say out loud. I showed her a picture of what I was looking at. She said, "You're going to look like the freaking Joker if you do that." And I was like, "Come on,
Well, she said
Mom."
that because your mom knows it ain't about you. Weddings are not about the groom.
Totally.
They're about the bride. And everything we do as men should, on that day specifically, that's one of those days that we don't want to look better than anybody. We want to, our bride needs to be the star. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
And your mom knew, she knew, okay, that Carrie needs to be, your wife needs to be the star.
Yeah.
And your mom, by the way, she was the star too.
Yeah.
And by the way, I had those designs too.
Yeah.
And she said, could you just wear a black suit?
Yeah.
With a white bow tie and a white cummerbund. And I said, whatever you want, right?
Sure.
Because she's the star, you know? And all I wanted to do was be like her, on her wrist.
Her attaché.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. and I'm not saying that's always the case. Sometimes we want to be the star too, but especially at a wedding.
Yeah.
Right?
I ended up getting a real nice navy colored suit, 3-piece suit.
You looked great.
And on the end, I got a custom lining that had the purple flowers on the inside of it.
Yeah.
And that looked awesome.
And at some point, you'll show your kids that, and they'll be like, holy crap, that's awesome.
I'm sure, yeah.
I've still got my wedding suit.
Up in the closet somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah, it would probably fit a large child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was pretty tiny when we first got married.
I'm not sure I could fit into mine right now either, Do
you remember what size it was? Was it a 40 regular, 42?
I think that it was, I think it's the same size suit that I wear nowadays.
Yeah.
It's the waist that I'm a little bit worried about, right?
Sure.
And I had it tailored, right, to fit perfectly.
Right.
And I think even though I might technically fit into the same size coat,
right,
I think I might be a little bit big for it, though.
How come every time I hear the word tailored, I flash to SpongeBob? I need a tailor.
Because I ripped my pants. Yeah.
Every time I hear
there's
words that send me straight to cartoons. So
yeah.
There's
one of this for me is when someone says, "Man, it's really been a while." I go, "It's been a while."
That stupid song. Yeah. There's always something like that.
Yeah.
So there you go. So I guess the question is, what's your, anybody else's?
Yeah. What's the thing that you see people wearing? You're like, "Ugh, come on, man, clean it up."
Maybe it's exactly what we're wearing now.
I know. I hate it when dudes just wear sweats and t-shirts.
Sweats and t-shirts.
Yeah. Dress up a little bit.
Lazy son of a guns.
Cool. So, well, we'll wrap it up for today, and we'll see everybody next week.
Sounds good.